Hey everyone, in the last lesson we studied fractions. Fraction is a part of a whole number or a part of a group. For example, this fraction. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 parts are there all together and 1, 2, 3 shaded parts. So this fraction is 3/4 or 3/4. This fraction is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts equal are there all together and only one shaded part. So this fraction is 1/6. And this fraction it has 1, 2 parts equal are there all together and only one shaded part. So this fraction is a half. Fraction has two different parts. It has a numerator and a denominator. The numerator is the number that lies on the top and it tells us how many parts are considered or shaded. The denominator is the number that lies on the bottom and it tells us how many equal parts are there all together. Our lesson today is comparing between two fractions. Comparing fractions help us to know which fraction is larger and which one is smaller. We can use models to compare. In this example, we have two fractions. The first fraction, as you can see, there are 4 pieces or 4 parts are there all together and only 3 parts are shaded. So the first fraction is 3/4 or 3/4. The second fraction, it has 4 parts are there all together and only one shaded part. So the second fraction is 1/4 or 1/4. The two fractions have the same denominators. So we compare between the two numbers on the top or the two numbers of numerators, 3 and 1. 3, of course, more than 1. Another example. This two fraction, the first fraction is 1/6. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts equal are there all together and only one shaded part. So the first fraction is 1/6. And the second fraction is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts are there all together and 1, 2, 3, 4 shaded parts. So the second fraction is 4/6. The two fractions have the same denominator, so we compare between the two numbers on the top, 1 and 4. And 1 is less than 4 or smaller than 4, so 1/6 is smaller than 4/6. Open the booklet, page 17, exercise number 1. Complete using the double sign, less than, more than, or equal to. The first fraction is 2/3 and 1/3. The two fractions have the same denominators or the same numbers in the bottom. So we compare between the two numbers on the top, 2 and 1. 2 more than 1, so 2/3 more than 1/3. The next example, 4/6 more than, less than, or equal to 5/6. The two fractions have the same denominator, so we compare between the numerators or the two numbers on the top, 4 and 5. 4 smaller than 5, so 4/6 smaller than 5/6. This example, 1/4 and 2/4. Or 1/4 and 2/4. 1/4 and 2/4, they have the same denominators, so we compare between the two numbers on the top, 1 and 2. And 1 smaller than 2 or 1 less than 2, so 1/4 smaller than or less than 2/4. This example, 1 and 4/6. The two fractions must have the same denominator, so we can change 1 by a fraction have a denominator 6. So 1 equals 6/6 or 6/6. Now the two fractions have the same denominator, so we can compare between the two numbers on the top, 6 and 4. So 6 sixes more than 4 sixes, or 1 more than 4 sixes. Exercise number 2. Letter A, 3/5 and 1/5. The two fractions have the same denominator, so we compare between the two numbers on the top, 3 and 1. So 3/5 is more than 1/5. Letter D, 7/12 and 11/12. The two fractions have the same denominator. We compare between 7 and 11. 7 smaller than 11, so 7/12 smaller than 11/12. Letter G, 5/7 and 6/7. The two fractions have the same denominators, so we compare between the two numbers on the top, 5 and 6. 5 smaller than 6, so 5/6 smaller than 6/7. 5/7 smaller than 6/7. Letter J, 2/9 and 7/9. The two fractions have the same denominator, so we compare between the two numbers on the top, 2 and 7. 2/9 smaller than 7/9. Page number 18, exercise number 3. Arrange each of the following in an ascending order. Ascending meaning to start from the smallest number or the smallest fraction to the greatest one. Now we have fractions, so we start from the smallest fraction to the greatest fraction. Letter A, 1/5, 5/5, 3/5, and 4/5. All fractions have the same denominator, so we compare between the numbers on the top, 1, 5, 3, and 4. The smallest one is 1/5. So the first one is 1/5. The next one is 3/5. 4/5. And the last one is, or the greatest one is 5/5. Letter B, 3/4, 1/4, and 2/4, and 1. The fractions must have the same denominator, so we change 1 and put 4/4. Now we can compare between the fractions. They all have the same denominators, 3/4, 1/4, 2/4, and 4/4. All fractions have the same denominator, so we compare between the numbers on the top, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 4. The smallest one is 1/4 or 1/4. The next one is 2/4 or 2/4. The third one is 3/4 or 3/4. And the greatest one is 4/4 or 1. Letter C, 11/6, 7/6, 13/6, and 9/6. The all fractions have the same denominator, so we compare between the numbers on the top, or the numbers of numerators. The smallest one is 7/6. Next one is 9/6. And then 11/6. And the greatest one is 13/6.